Good evening. My name is Brittany, and I'm an admissions representative with Kansas State University Online. I wanted to start by thanking everyone for joining us tonight to learn more about our online computer science graduate and undergraduate programs. I'm joined by Dr. Scott Deloach and Dr. Graham Leach-Krause, who are going to spend roughly the next 30 minutes or so giving us a presentation about this program, and then we'll spend the last 10 to 15 minutes answering questions. Throughout the duration of this presentation, we will be monitoring the chat feature and answering questions as they're being asked. And some of your questions may be saved until the end for Dr. Deloach and Dr. Leach-Krause to answer. If you could please take a few moments to locate the chat feature and answer the question you see on your screen, as we would love to learn a little bit more about you. I'll give you a moment to do so now. As those chats start coming in, I also wanted to let you know that we will be sharing a recording of this presentation following the webinar. At this point, I would like to turn it over to Dr. Deloach.
All righty. Hello, my name's Scott Deloach. I am, I guess we're supposed to be introducing ourselves. Let's go back here. I'm Scott Deloach. I'm the department head of the Department of Computer Science here at K-State.
And hi, I'm Graham Leach-Krause. I'm the program director for the new integrated computer science major, which is one of the undergraduate online computer science offerings.
Okay, we're going to talk to you about 3 different online computer science options. First of all, we have a computer science certificate, which is a 17 credit set of classes that you can take relatively quickly. Then Graham will talk about our integrated computer science program, which is a collaboration between the Department of Computer Science and the College of Arts and Sciences. And then we'll talk to you a little bit at the end about our master's degree in computer science, which we recently put online. Okay. The computer science certificate is a set of 5 classes totaling 17 credits that really provide you with a really strong foundation into basic programming, data structures, algorithms, and some advanced programming techniques. So these classes basically parallel the same exact structure that we teach our on-campus students who are in our computer science program. Now, the key elements of the certificate, which are really nice, is that it's algebra based. Most of the time when you get into computer science programs, a lot of them require you to know calculus. And we've specifically designed these courses to be algebra based. It does have a programming focus. We'll talk in a minute how you can then expand upon this if you want to go a little deeper. But the idea is that when you finish CC 410, that you have the skills to do a really good job at programming. You're not going to feel like you don't understand how to program, how to put together programs, and how to do things in a relatively complex way. Now, like I said, we created these 5 courses specifically to go online and to allow you to take these courses kind of as you have time. I mean, in terms of being able to go in when you have time. We built it in an immersive learning environment called Codio. It's actually a computer science specific learning environment, where basically if you have access to the internet and something as simple as a Chromebook, you can log on to the Codio environment, where you will have access to not only the textbook, which is in there, you also have access to a bunch of videos. So there's a little bit of text, and then there's a little bit of video explaining that, going through some examples, and some recorded by some of our best instructors here in the computer science department. And then it also has a built-in programming environment where you can literally sit with the text on one side of your screen and the programming environment on the other side of your screen, and you can program the exercises that are described in the textbook. The nice thing about this is that as you're programming and you think you got it all done, you think you got it all right, you can click a button in the textbook and it will automatically check those programs for you, and it'll tell you if you're right or wrong. So you can really do a lot just in that environment all by yourself, because you'll have the textbook, you have the videos, you'll have the programming examples right there to help you along. Okay, you will also have access to instructors via email or chat, or graduate teaching assistants who can help you as well.
Okay, so thanks, Scott. So I can take over at this point. So what Scott just described was the computational core certificate. But if you want to go a little bit further with computer science, then one option is our integrated computer science major. So you can do the major as bachelor's of science or bachelor's of arts. We'll talk about the differences between those in a second. And the sort of main sections of the degree are the computer science courses, so the sort of core computer science courses. Those are the same as the courses that make up the computational core certificate. So if you're doing the computational core certificate, then you can easily go on to do the ICS major. Or if you're doing the ICS major and you decide, you know what, I'm ready to hit the job market, then you can go ahead and take the certificate instead of completing the major. So there's a kind of synergy between those two. So on top of the computer science courses, which give you a foundation that you can use to understand programming concepts, we have a couple of electives that give you some skills that build on that foundation, so things that you can apply to specific industries. And then we also combine all that programming background, this is why it's called integrated, with some electives that allow you to connect what you're doing on the technology side with things that are going on within the arts and sciences. So we have a couple of different areas that our integration electives fall into: digital arts and humanities, cultural impacts of technology, moral reasoning, and professional ethics. And those sort of help build up a lot of soft skills that are actually of a lot of interest to employers in technology related fields. That's one thing that we found when we were doing the research that went into designing this major. And then in addition to that stuff that's sort of specific to the ICS major, you do a concentration, which is 18 or more credit hours, making up a major, a minor, or a certificate in some other area within the college, within the university. So you could, for example, combine an integrated computer science major with a minor in the art department. And so you could get a background in web design and also sort of like a strong arts background in visual design that might be helpful for putting things together on the web, or, game design, kind of creating assets for building games. There are a lot of possibilities for what you can customize your degree with, but the general thought is that you can combine it with something that you're excited about, that you're passionate about, and add a kind of special flavor to your computer science degree that that will help you moving forward. Okay, I think we can probably do next slide. Okay, so just zooming in on the programming component a little bit, we've got the required computer science courses. So those are the same as the computational core certificate. And then we have the electives. So these cover things like web development, full stack. So that means both front end, kind of designing web pages, and back end, operating web servers, databases, applied data science. Scott might be able to say a little bit more about our data science programs.
So our data science program, you can think about things like machine learning. There'll be a little bit of artificial intelligence there as well. So those can be applied obviously in a lot of places these days.
Mhm.
And well, and I'll just say that the last one is the 590, it's the special topics. And that's one where from time to time we will offer special topics that might be of interest that you would be able to take then.
Yeah. So, just as one more example of possible integrated computer science concentration. So Scott mentioned machine learning and artificial intelligence. The Department of Statistics offers a kind of information science certificate. So that would be a great combination. I've been talking to people in statistics. They're very excited about that possibility. Okay, I think we can probably do next slide. Okay, so the integrated computer science major is a full-blown college degree rather than a certificate. So you would complete it by also going through the gen eds that are normally part of any arts and sciences major. So this is a sort of list of the different gen eds and gen ed areas. But the takeaway is that you really do get a breadth of experience with an arts and sciences degree, and that can really help you find something that you are excited about, right? For one time, you get to kind of survey the whole space of possible options for the natural sciences, for mathematics, learn about arts, learn about literature, and then kind of having seen everything, you get to zero in and choose what you're excited about and what you want to focus on in your college degree. And then, of course, you've got your programming classes that you can then apply to all of that. So if you want to do a BS, then the BS also incorporates a natural science prerequisite and some additional quantitative classes. So usually that's college algebra, intro statistics, and one of our programming courses will also count towards the BS requirements. If you want to do a BA, so there's a little bit of extra complexity here. The language classes are not currently available online. So if you want to do the BA with an online integrated computer science degree, then you would want to transfer in those foreign language classes. But the integrated computer science major is an online-offline degree, so you can also take classes on campus alongside classes that are part of the online offering.
Okay. So I'll talk a little bit now about the master's in computer science. Before I go into that, though, I'd just like to say one more thing about the integrated computer science degree. The reason this degree really came about is because as the computer science department head, I get to talk to industry a lot. And they keep telling me over and over again, they love our majors in our regular computer science degree. And they really like that, but sometimes they're like, that works really well most of the time, but sometimes we need those people that really have a broader background or better soft skills or just different kinds of details, especially, the example I always use is the arts with computer science. So many times I was told by people, it would be really nice if you could give me one of your computer scientists that knew how to make things look good. Because apparently a lot of our computer scientists, they make it work and it works well, but it doesn't always look the best or it isn't always the easiest to use. So by creating the integrated computer science program, we're really trying to fill a void in the computer science area. The nice thing about it, there's so many jobs in computer science, both areas, whether you take main core computer science or the integrated computer science, there are jobs there for everybody. Now, the master's in computer science, we put online last year. It's the same exact computer science program we have on campus. We're just taking those same exact courses and making an online version of them. Okay, that was made a lot easier by COVID, actually, since we did so much more online. So a lot of the courses got built much quicker than they would have otherwise. But our master's in computer science, really, you need a good solid background in computer science before you take on this master's degree, because it is a pretty hardcore theory-based master's degree. So, and this is much less rigid than our typical, what you might see in engineering or computer science, in that the requirements are fairly open. You have 30 credit hours of graduate level coursework that you have to complete, and you can transfer in up to 10 of those. Generally, we require them to be transfers from an ABET accredited school, which ABET is the worldwide engineering and computer science accreditation body. So then once you get in your coursework, we really have 5 areas, or do we have 6? We have 6 areas. Good to know. That you have to complete at least one course from. So there's an implementation area which requires you to demonstrate that you actually have good programming skills. That can be either done through our compiler course, our operating system course, or we have a special projects course that you can do. Then there's a languages area, which again, you can take either compilers, we have a programming languages class, or a software specification class. In the systems area, again, operating systems, computer network, computer architecture, security, any of those classes will satisfy that. And then the application area, again, we have security and reliability, AI, we have analysis and design classes, database classes. We have some formal theory classes that you have to take, either formal language theory or algorithms. And then you have to have a specialization at an 800 level class or above. Most of the classes here are 700 level or graduate master's level classes. An 800 level class is considered a PhD level or an advanced graduate course. And if you look at this real quickly, there's 6 areas. Typically each class is 3 credits, so that's 18 credits. So you still have several credits where you can choose electives that are of your interest. So it allows you to specialize very nicely. Now, you do have to do one of these 3 options. There's the thesis option, where you actually do some research, write a thesis. That's a 6 credit option. If you aren't really research focused and you are more interested in doing a project to demonstrate your skills, then a report option would be good. You do the project and you write a report about it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be research based. And then there is a non-thesis, non-report option, which requires you to take an extra class. So instead of the 30 credits we talk about up here, there's take an extra class, and you have to do an oral report to a group of faculty members, basically showing that you understand something about computer science in a particular area. So you get to pick the area, what you do the oral report on, but it's just making sure that you really have, demonstrated that you understand computer science. Okay, and again, this master's degree is completely online. We have, at least 1 or 2 classes in each of these areas, whereas on campus, you might get a few more choices, but there are enough classes in these areas that you would be able to do that pretty easily. Okay, so those are the 3 programs we have. Now, if you're going
Sorry, Scott, we might have lost you for just a moment there.
yeah, you did. So where was I?
I think we were just about to enter into the description of the undergraduate admission requirements, I think.
Okay. So, well, I've already explained this. So right here.
Let's see. So I have also lost the screen share.
Oh, okay, hold on. Okay.
There it is.
All right, so let's try. So we were
Right there. Yeah.
right there. Okay, so I'll just start at the top then.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, and this is why you love doing live things online, because it's so consistent. Just works well all the time.
Mhm.
So if you're interested in applying for the undergraduate, one of our undergraduate programs being either the certificate program or the integrated computer science program, you basically use the undergraduate admissions. And this is on the online.ksu.edu webpage right here. If you go there, there's a how to apply button, and you click this and you'll get all this information. But basically, if you're a new freshman, which means you basically have less than 24 college credits already, then you'll need a high school GPA of 3.25, or an ACT of 21, or a SAT of 1060, and a 2.0 on all college courses taken. Okay, so if you have that, so if you have 12 credits, you would have to meet all this from your high school and ACT, and you would have to have a 2.0 on those 12 credits. If you have more than 24 credits, then basically, as long as you have a minimum GPA of 2.0 on all transfer coursework, then you can be admitted as well. So you might ask, if I don't have a good enough ACC score or good enough high school GPA, what can I do? Well, you can take 24 credits. If you have a 2.0 or above, then you can transfer in, be admitted to K-State. So we have some deadlines here. If you want to start in the spring semester, you need to get your application in by January 1st. For the summer, it's May 1st, and for the fall, it's August 1st. So obviously, it's better to apply earlier than that because things get kind of rushed at that level. But those are the basic kind of requirements. Okay. Did I skip something? No. Okay. So when you actually go to apply, you come over here and you need to, there is a $40 fee, $80 for international. They're going to ask you to send some documentation, obviously your high school transcript, your ACT, SAT scores, and the college transcripts from each of the institutions that you've attended, if you have attended some schools. So if you're a student whose primary language is not English, if you grew up in another country, or you're an international student, then you would be required to submit proof of proficiency through one of these three scores, the TOEFL, IELTS, or the PTE score. Okay, as far as costs, it would be really nice if we could tell you it's exactly this much, but actually the way the university is set up, there's a range of costs per credit hour, and it goes everywhere from $400 to $665 per credit hour. And I will tell you that the computational core courses are in the College of Engineering, so they are more expensive. They are toward the $665 end of that. And Graham, did you find out about?
Yeah, so the so if you're doing an ICS degree, then the majority of your gen eds are going to be through the College of Arts and Sciences. And so if you're doing those online, I think the base rate is $375. And then on top of that, there's a global campus fee of about $30. So it's about $390 per credit hour.
Okay. So that would be obviously most of that, but then like if you're taking the concentration area, if it's in another college, it might be something different than that.
Yeah, that's correct. So if you do your concentration in the College of Arts and Sciences, then you'll still be paying that figure around 400 per credit hour. But if you want to do a concentration in the College of Business, for example, that's entirely possible, but they do have like a slightly higher rate per credit hour.
Okay. I know that's very confusing and I apologize for that, but that's just the way things are.
Yeah, but if you're interested, we can put you in touch with the Integrated Computer Science Advisor who can help put together a course plan. And once you know what the courses are, then you can figure out what the fees will be.
Okay. For those of you who are interested in the Masters in Computer Science, our admissions and application process are a little bit different. Graduate school is just different than undergraduate. Basically, we require a bachelor's degree from an ABET accredited CS program. Again, ABET is that accreditation body. You need to have a 3.0 in your last 60 credits. So basically the last 2 years you were taking classes, you have to have at least a 3.0. And if your bachelor's degree was not from an ABET accredited CS program, then you would need a GRE test. Okay, so GRE is a test like ACT, SAT, but it's for graduate students. So if you wanted to go from the integrated computer science program and then get a master's degree here, because the integrated computer science program is not ABET accredited, okay, because we added the flexibility, which was outside the limits of what ABET accredit allows. And just because it's an not ABET accredited program does not mean it's not a quality program. Okay, we have the same quality in our ABET accredited programs as we do in our non-ABET accredited programs. But you would just have to take the GRE exam in order to get admitted. There is a $65, $75 fee, whether you're domestic or international. And typically, if the requirements, the application takes a little bit longer in graduate school, so really you need to apply 2 to 3 months prior. So we have these kind of deadlines for international students, December 1st, January 8th, and August 31st. And a lot of that is not because of the time it takes to apply. It's all the visa and international kind of red tape you have to go through to take classes in the United States. Okay. Again, like the undergraduate application, there are some requirements. You have to have a personal statement of what you want to do. That's evaluated actually by our faculty in computer science. They want to see where you're going or what you're interested in. 3 references, a resume, your unofficial transcripts, though official transcripts are required if you're actually going to be accepted. So you have to have the official transcripts eventually. And then again, you have to prove your English proficiency if you're not a native English speaker. Okay. And then there are scholarships available. I know K-State Online provides scholarships every semester. As long as you're enrolled in 3 credits, you can apply, and there's a link here. K-State also offers a tuition installment payment plan. So if you don't have the money up front, you can do it through a payment plan. And I think we're about to the end here. So I think we're
Yeah, so
Great.
now we can go ahead and open it up for questions. If you have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat and we will discuss those. We did have one question that I wanted to save for the end. We have a student who has a bachelor's and a master's in chemical engineering and is wanting to make the transition to computer science and is wondering what degree path you would recommend.
okay. Well, it kind of depends. You know, I know the nice thing about it is we know all chemical engineers are smart, so that's not a problem. No, it would be depending if you have any computer science background. I know depending on what programs you go to, a lot of chemical engineers are taking some programming. We would have to look at what you have, but there's you could go through and do something like take the certificate program or do the integrated computer science program to help you get into then the graduate school and the master's. That's possible. It might be that you have enough background and enough math background and those kind of things that we could give you if you want to apply to the master's program. We could give you a few extra courses to kind of help you get up to speed and then help you there as well. So there's really multiple ways, and what I would suggest you do really is contact me or somebody, our department directly, and ask to talk with an advisor, which would either be Cheryl Cornell or our graduate program director, Dr. Mitch Nielsen. Do we have other questions?
Some companies are requesting employees to have a bachelor's degree to be promoted who have been in a computer science, cyber, IT industry type of position for years and years. Is this program a good fit for those individuals that are seeking that bachelor's?
I would say yes. I mean, this is the kind of program that, most people who have a computer cyber IT industry position probably have some training of some kind, maybe some college background, whether it be at the community college, technical college. And this would be a place where the integrated computer science program could maybe take advantage of some of those credits so you wouldn't have to do the whole program. And at the same time, it would definitely provide you some really strong skills in programming and computer science, as well as giving you that opportunity to explore other areas that you might be interested in as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think you would probably would be a good fit because you'd be able to transfer in credits, and I think hopefully the computational core classes that you'd be doing would be probably not too difficult for somebody with an IT background, but still probably hopefully enriching. You can kind of build out your skills a little bit, and then I think the concentration, or sorry, the integration electives that you would do in the integrated computer science bachelor's, I think that would be probably, hopefully, pretty interesting to somebody who's had some experience in industry. So, for example, one of the classes that you'd probably end up taking is our philosophy of computer science and software engineering class, which I teach. And you get to talk about things like ethical issues related to privacy and open source software. So a lot of stuff that's really relevant to people who are working in industry.
Yeah. And I will, I'll also say there are some very interesting classes that are not in computer science that are related to computer science. One of my favorites is the, I can't remember the full name, but there's a sociology class on technocrime where you get into understanding the background of why these people might be, trying to do cyber-based crime. And I think we actually require that for our cybersecurity degree because it's just such a good course. But there's a lot of things like that you would probably be able to go find and really fit your interests.
Yeah, and that's going to be added as one of the integration electives for cultural impact of technology, the cybercrime class that I think Kevin Steinmetz teaches that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our next question is, are there virtual career fairs that you're aware of for people in this field?
Well, actually, our career fairs now are kind of both. So we have on-campus career fairs, but there's also a virtual aspect to it. And the same thing in the spring, we have an engineering career fair, which, all these students would be able to attend that are going to be partially virtual as well. And there are some virtual career fairs that you can find on the internet, depending on kind of what you're interested in.
Yeah, more generally, I think we have between computer science computer science allows integrated computer science to join in on their Discord server. And so you get news about all sorts of events. The computer science department runs a regular tea time. So I think actually just today, they had some visiting alumni who are now working in industry who were talking about their career paths and things that they've learned along the way. And there was some of the alumni were even doing interview prep, so mock interviews for people who wanted to get ready to do job interviews for technology careers. So there are a lot of resources that are now sort of available virtually online through the computer science department.
Yeah, and we send out a newsletter every week that's full of either internships or full-time jobs that I always look at, and I'm amazed because when I was in school, there were no jobs. But that was a long time ago, so.
Are there any data science research projects in the master's program?
Absolutely. Data science is one of our strongest areas in computer science, and we have several world-renowned either machine learning or artificial intelligence faculty members. And so, yes, if you are interested in a specific research area, of course, you'll want to take classes with these faculty members, find out what they're doing. But so if you have a thesis and you have to do a thesis, that is basically doing research, and you get to mutually pick your research professor, so you can kind of pick the area you want to do. So yeah, there's plenty of opportunity for research, and that's one of the unique things about this master's program. Is a lot of master's programs you go to, it's coursework only, and people who really want to do some kind of research or do some kind of project, it's difficult for them to get into that. We make it very easy to do those kind of research projects.
We have a student who has a bachelor's degree in information technology from their home country. Is there someone in particular that they can forward their transcripts to find out if their degree is ABET affiliated?
Yeah, just email me. That would be the easiest way, and I can send it to the right person and have them get in touch with you.
And do you guys have your contact information on the next slide?
I think we do.
Yeah, there we go. That'll make it easier. Any other questions?
Well, if there are no additional questions at this time, but you think of something later on, you can always reach back out to us and we're happy to help you with those. If you have questions about the master's program, reach out to Dr. Deloach. And if you have questions about the undergraduate programs, you can reach out to Dr. Leach-Krause. There's a question about if they need to send an official transcript from their home country if they've had the transcript evaluated from a US third party.
Yes, if you get accepted, we will have to have your actual official transcript.
I just want to thank both of you, Dr. Deloach and Dr. Leach-Krause, for that wonderful presentation. And I want to thank everyone for joining us here tonight. If you're ready to apply, please visit our website, which is online.ksu.edu, and select how to apply for detailed instructions. I also, just as a reminder, everyone who is registered for this webinar will receive a recording via email as soon as it's available. Additionally, for those who have attended tonight, you are eligible to receive an application fee waiver. So feel free to reach out to K-State Online at online@ksu.edu, and we would be happy to provide you with a waiver. And I'll also include that email in the chat.